Hey, it's Howard from Catalinbread here. How are you guys doing? Hey, guess what today is? Today is Silicon Karma Suture Day, and I'm pretty stoked to tell you about the newest model in our Karma Suture lineup. And first off, what is it? Well, and this is the bamboo version here. We have a special kind of introductory limited version of that. And then, of course, there's what we call the evil finish. But, so what's going on with this thing? Silicon Karma Suture, because we actually have another one out that's in your favorite pinkish purple color, and that's our germanium one. And it's been germanium the whole time. Didn't change that. What we've done is added the silicon one to the lineup. And basically, how this came to be was I was messing around on the breadboard one day, and I actually happened to bring it with me here. And I was messing around, and I ended up with an all silicon recipe of the Karma Suture, and it sounded great. And it's more aggressive. It just rips harder. It's louder, and it's quite fun. But let's back up a sec. What is a Karma Suture? Well, that was inspired originally by this rare circuit called the Harmonic Percolator. A lot of you guys already know about it. That's why you're here. If you don't know about it, go ahead and Google it after you're done watching this, of course. Harmonic Percolator. Anyway, I put up the circuit on the breadboard 3 years ago, 2013, fall, I think. And I was greeted with this just amazing potential, just the harmonics it produces. Like when you heard in the intro, when I hit a chord, it's just a wall of sound. And this circuit really hit home to what I like as far as being a guitarist with my distortion pedals and what I look for as a designer, which is basically harmonic alignment. This is kind of a phrase that I've been using in my own head, where you play something and everything's just lined up and it becomes big and huge as a result of that, you know, because there's a lot of cool distortion sounds and fuzz textures in guitar world. And some are cool because they're kind of ugly and gated, and they actually, the harmonics aren't getting along together well, and that creates kind of an interesting tension, you know, but it can be kind of harsh too. And even though the Silicon Karma Suture is a lot more aggressive and it's brighter than the germanium one, but because of the nature of the circuit, which is based on a PNP and an NPN transistor, so in the silicon version it's all silicon, and we'll talk more about it later. But even though it's really distorted, everything's just lined up and it just sounds beautiful, and everything has a sweetness to it still. And so what we're going to do now is real quickly go through the controls. There's only 4 of them. It won't take very long. And then I'm just going to do some playing with different guitars and stuff. I might add that the Silicon Karma Suture, it works great into a clean amp, but where it really shines is when you run into something already cranked up. So I got my little Princeton back there, and it's got cranked up. You know, it's up to like 6 or so, where it's producing a little overdrive on its own. Then you hit something like that with a Karma Suture, and just look out. It's just incredible. It's really a lot of fun. Hey, we're back. I got a Telecaster on. I turned the amp down so it's clean, so you can hear what the knobs are doing, kind of. So let's go through the 4 controls on the Silicon Karma Suture. And if you look at the inset, they're the same actual 4 knobs as the germanium version. We didn't change that. So you still have input, and you have output, density, and diodes. So let's just go through those real quick like. We'll start with the obvious one. Output does what you think it would do. The silicon version, I would say, has a lot more output than a germanium version. So you're going to get a nice volume boost there. Now, input controls the amount of signal from your guitar getting into the harmonic generation circuit. A pre-gain volume control, if you will. So it doesn't clean up all the way like the germanium version does, and this is typical for the silicon versions of fuzz-type pedals. But what you do get with the Silicon Karma Suture is that it turns down to a nice just kind of chunk. And I might add that these controls in your guitars, consider that part of the pedals controls because it was really designed to work that way. So use your tone control too. And so what you get is a nice clean sound. It's actually got more power and volume than no pedal at all. So basically what you get with the Karma Suture is you extend the range of your guitar, and that's pretty cool. So that's the input control. Now we have the density control, and that controls the amount of low-end frequencies that get into the harmonic generation circuit. So all the way to the right is the most low end, and if you're trying to make it do fuzz type sounds, crank that sucker up. Turn it down and things get tighter, and it's great for some melodic things. If you're doing overdubs in studio, that density control will be great to fit a part right in. And you can turn it up in between, find your sweet spot. What I do is, like, if I go all the way, it might be too thick. Just back it off until it gets just right. Find your own Goldilocks zone. The diodes control controls the clipping diodes, as the name would imply. And when it's full up, the diodes are the most in play, and you get the most diode limiting clipping. As you turn it down, it starts lifting that ceiling. It's like taking your limiter plug-in on your recording rig and moving the threshold up. And so it gets louder as you turn it down because there's less limiting, there's less clamping. And I might add that I tune this circuit to be asymmetrical. So there are two silicon diodes that are set up asymmetrically. And what does that mean to you? It just means it sounds great. But what I will say about the diodes control is if you're using the Silicon Karma Suture as a standalone dirt box, you're running your amp pretty clean, you probably end up using the diodes turned up more to get more of the saturation from that. But if you're using it to boost another overdrive pedal or like your amp's cranked up and you don't need that much compression, just back it off and the sweet spot will likely be in the middle somewhere. And those are the four controls. And I'm going to turn the amp back up now and go find another guitar and just give you some more examples, just jam a little bit of the sounds you can make with the Silicon Karma Suture. So be right back with another guitar. Hey, so that was the Les Paul Special and the Karma Suture. And you saw me playing, I had the neck pickup on full, and then I had the bridge pickup down, so I was going back and forth so you can hear the cleanup. And I was mostly just noodling around, but so forgive that. But I was just trying to show you some of the dynamics and the tones that you can get with the Karma Suture Silicon with the P90 Les Paul Special. So now, why don't we do some jamming? I'm going to use this guitar here, tuned to Dadgad. But it will be plugged into the Karma Suture, so it won't sound like that. And we're going to check that out, and then that's going to wrap up this week's video. So we hope you enjoyed your introductory tour to the new Silicon Karma Suture, and we're going to come back at you next week, and we're going to do a stack video and show you how it incorporates into a pedal board. So until then, enjoy, and we'll catch you on the flip side.